Is there a cover someone did of one of your songs that's a personal favorite?
Well, Taylor Swift, back when she was much younger, she was on the Red Tour, I think, and would play both Hey Soul Sister and Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool thing for me, I think. That was before she was who she is now, but she was still pretty massive.
This is your Audacy check-in from the Hard Rock Hotel, New York. I am here with Pat Monahan of Train. So good to see you. We have so many things to talk about. Before we get into the music and everything, I was looking over the bullets and the stuff they send me over before we do the interview, and it was saying, Train's timeless classics, and it listed all the hits you guys have. And I was thinking about that. Do you think that's a thing that's no longer obtainable for new artists now, a timeless classic because of, our deteriorating attention span?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. I do know that we just came back from the UK and Europe, and they are still a very album-oriented group of people collectively. So we can play deep cuts from albums. As long as the albums did well in those places, they will know every single song. And today's world is so quick. You can't even get an entire song out. You have 30 seconds to get people hooked on whatever it is, and then possibly you'll inspire people to listen to the entire song. So an album is that'll be a difficult thing for younger artists to do, but hopefully they can do it because we need to keep inspiring kids to want to do this.
Right. And it's a shame because I grew up listening to the whole album, and I feel like you found magic in the songs that you didn't skip and then you came to understand and love. You know what I mean? Where you just didn't maybe get that pull in, that magic the first listen, but when you are forced to listen to the whole album, you don't just throw it away as quickly.
Well, if you really research, old music or older music or classic music, sometimes it's the sixth song that was the biggest song, not number one.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. It will be interesting to see where the whole world takes us, but it's going to be up to young artists to demand that they make albums and have them heard.
Yeah. Long Yellow Dress is so good. I love it. It
Thanks.
Instantly makes me feel happy. I was hopefully doing something that you don't do. I was going through all the comments under the lyric video on YouTube, and I saw one person, I thought this was interesting. They said, "Am I crazy? It reminds me of the Beatles." And then somebody commented underneath that and said, "It's the drums." Do you hear that?
Cool.
Or?
I'll listen differently. My drummer, Matt Musty, is a really gifted kid. He's younger than all of us, so he doesn't know anything. He's a really great writer, and he reads music and writes things down, and the way he plays drums is just interesting. It all depends on the song. He's a great singer, so he knows to work around vocals. He's a smart guy.
How did that song come together? What kind of magic happened in the studio where you were like, this is it. This is a good one.
We are always writing. Like, we have a musical we're 3 years into writing, and we'll just get together 3 days a week over Zoom and knock things out. But I hummed a melody into a dictaphone or an iPhone and sent them my humming, and then it turned into Long Yellow Dress.
Yeah. Save Me San Francisco. I can't believe it. This year it's turning 15, which is wild to me. Looking back on that album today, what would you say you love more about it, and maybe you dislike a little, something that maybe you think, if I could go back, I would tweak this little part?
I don't really, when I'm recording an album, I will listen to it nonstop for about, for months before and about a month after.
Yeah.
And then I'm done.
Okay.
So I haven't revisited. I'll revisit songs to relearn them. Like, we do a cruise every other year.
Yeah.
And there are so many, fans that have been with us for so many years that they want to hear songs that we don't play all the time. Like when we go out this summer, it's not just for Train fans, but it's REO Speedwagon fans
Sure.
and people that just got a ticket because they thought it would be fun. So we need to make sure that we play the songs that they came to see, and then we'll add a couple of other, not so popular songs. But on the cruise, we can play whatever we want.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that. That's cool. You're like, listen, this was the moment in time. When it's done, it's done. That's very cool. Do you have a favorite Train album?
I don't really have a favorite Train album. It's really like Tom Brady. My favorite ring is the next one. It's kind of like that for me musically. Like, I think I just need to keep moving forward and listen to, some of the. I just heard a song the other day from a project out of Canada, out of Montreal, called Men I Trust, and I'm blown away with how good this band is. Like, it's a female singer and I think two men and or guys, and their music is so beautiful. Like, that makes me inspired to keep going forward, and so that's why I don't really visit the past much.
I love your cover album of Zeppelin. That was one of the bands my mother passed down to me as a child. And it sounds amazing. You had to get approval from the guys to do that album, right? Did that spark a relationship with them?
So we wanted to record Led Zeppelin 2, and the reason that I wanted to do it is because I think my band is incredible. It's not the band I started with, and so I wanted people to see how gifted they are at. And if you re-record Led Zeppelin 2, you can hear, wow, those guys know what they're doing. And we were just in London, and I was working doing this kind of thing, and my two guys, Jerry Becker and Taylor Locke, were at the hotel. Out of the elevator, Jimmy Page. So they have a picture with Jimmy Page. They talked to him for 10 minutes. He told them that he knew we recorded Led Zeppelin 2, asked what songs we were going to play at Royal Albert Hall. I hate those guys for getting a picture with Jimmy Page while I was at work. So I just kind of wanted to say, fuck off.
Oh my gosh.
Not Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jerry and Taylor.
Wow. Did you ever hear Chris Cornell's cover of Thank You by Zeppelin?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Phenomenal. I bring that up because is there a cover someone did of one of your songs that's a personal favorite?
Well, Taylor Swift, back when she was much younger, she was on the Red Tour, I think, and would play both Hey Soul Sister and Drops of Jupiter.
Yeah.
That was a pretty cool thing for me. I think, that was before she was who she is now, but she was still pretty massive.
Yeah. And before we wrap, we're obviously at the Hard Rock Hotel New York. So the Hard Rock has the largest collection of music memorabilia in the world, over 80,000 pieces. So if you were to contribute to one of the great things, what would Pat or Train contribute? What would be the amazing item?
I don't have amazing items, to be honest, but when we performed Drops of Jupiter on the Grammys, I had a long, not a full-length jacket on, but it was like a 3/4 length jacket from Dolce & Gabbana that I probably can't even fit into anymore. I weighed like 11 pounds, but that jacket was dope.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool enough to put in the rock and roll into the Hard Rock Cafe exhibits. As long as there's a picture of Bono watching me in the jacket from the first row going like, why can't I wear shit like that? That would be cool.
Super cool. And I think your fans would appreciate seeing that for sure. Pat, thank you for taking the time. I am so excited for everything you have going on. Big fan. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate you.